The ballroom doors burst open, and Gabriella collapsed against the door frame, blood trailing down her temple. Every head turned, and the music died mid-note. Across the room, Kim Shi-hoon stood transfixed at the altar, hand still holding his fiancée's, but his eyes locked onto the woman swaying near the entrance. Dark skin, gold dress torn at the shoulder, face he'd never forgotten. Shi-hoon? His fiancée's voice sounded distant. He dropped her hand and walked beeline. Walked with the kind of purpose that made people step aside without thinking. His security team swerved to intercept, but he raised one finger and they stopped. Gabriella's knees buckled. He caught her before she hit the floor. "Don't you dare pass out on me," he spat, and his fist curling into a ball. "Who did this?" "Your uncle," she managed. Then her head fell against his chest. "He knows about the accounts." The engagement hall erupted in whispers. Shi-hoon's fiancée stood at the altar, bouquet quivering in her hands with myriads of emotions gushing through her. His mother gripped her pearls. The board members exchanged glances that promised emergency meetings. None of it mattered. "Get Dr. Huang," Shi-hoon ordered, lifting Gabriella like she weighed nothing. "Clear the West Wing. Nobody comes in." "But sir, your engagement is over." He didn't look back. "Tell everyone the party's done. We're going to war. If you're already feeling something in your chest, drop an emoji below. Subscribe because I create stories that hit different, and you'll want to be notified when the next one drops. Comment the first word that came to your mind during that opening scene. And now keep watching, because what you've seen so far is just the surface. His second-in-command, Lee Jong-soo, appeared at his elbow. "What do you need?" "Everything on my uncle. Every transaction, every property, every person he's paid in the last 6 months." Shi-hoon's voice dropped. "And get me the Tanzanian files." Jong-soo's eyes widened. "Boss, those files are supposed to be buried. Dig them up." They quickened through hallways lined with confused guests. Someone tried to approach, but Jong-soo blocked them with a look that could freeze water. Shi-hoon carried Gabriella to his private suite, kicked the door shut, and laid her on the couch. Blood matted her natural hair. Bruises darkened her collarbone. Fury coiled in his stomach like a living thing. Dr. Huang arrived within minutes, medical bag already open. "Key, should I ask what happened?" "No." Shi-hoon stepped back but didn't leave the room. "Just fix her. She needs stitches, possible concussion. These bruises are fresh, maybe an hour old." The doctor worked quickly, cleaning wounds with practiced efficiency. "Someone beat her pretty badly." "I know." His hands curled into fists. "How long before she can talk?" "She can probably talk now if you're gentle about it. But she needs rest, Shi-hoon. Real rest." Gabriella's eyes fluttered open, confused at first, then sharp. She tried to sit up, but the doctor pressed her shoulder down. "Don't move yet," Dr. Huang said. "You've got a concussion." "I don't have time for a concussion." Gabriella's voice came out rough. She looked at Shi-hoon and something complicated passed between them. "Your uncle found the offshore accounts. All 12 of them." Shi-hoon went very still. "That's impossible. Those accounts are buried under 6 shell corporations." "He had help." She winced as Dr. Huang applied another bandage. Someone on the inside, someone close. The implications hit him like a truck. His inner circle was small, trusted. If someone had flipped, who? He crouched beside the couch, eye level with her. "Give me a name." "I don't know yet, but they knew about Tanzania. They knew about the diamonds. They knew about—" She stopped, glanced at the doctor. Shi-hoon understood. "Dr. Huang, thank you. Leave the supplies. I'll handle the rest." The doctor hesitated, then nodded and packed up. Call me if she gets worse. And Shihun, whatever you're planning, be smart about it. When they were alone, Gabriella sat up slowly. The gold dress hung off one shoulder. She ruined. She looked nothing like the analyst he'd hired 3 years ago to clean his books. Nothing like the woman who'd disappeared 8 months ago with half his secrets and all of his attention. You shouldn't be here, he said. But his hand reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. I told you to stay hidden. Your uncle sent men to Johannesburg. They burned my apartment. Her eyes met his, unflinching. I had nowhere else to go. So you crashed my engagement party? I crashed your fake engagement party. She almost smiled. You think I don't know a business arrangement when I see one? That woman doesn't love you. She loves your company shares. He couldn't argue because she was right. The engagement was strategic, a merger between families. His father had arranged it before dying. He and Shihun had honored it because he'd thought Gabriella was gone for good. Why didn't you call? The question came out harder than he meant. Because your phone is tapped. Your office is bugged. Your uncle has eyes everywhere. She stood up, swayed, caught herself on his arm. I spent 8 months building a case against him. I have proof of everything. The money laundering, the weapons deals, the politicians he's bought. But if he finds it before I can get it to the authorities, where is it? Safe. For now. She looked at him, really looked at him. I need your help, Shihun. I can't do this alone anymore. He wanted to be angry. She'd left without explanation, vanished like smoke, and he'd spent months wondering if she was dead or just done with him. But standing here with her blood on his shirt, all he felt was the old familiar pull. The reason he'd hired her in the first place, even though every instinct screamed she was dangerous. My uncle won't stop until you're dead, he said quietly. You know that, right? Yes. And you came here anyway? Yes. Why? She smiled then, sad and tired. Because you're the only person I trust to finish what I started. Outside the suite, voices rose. His mother demanding answers, his ex-fiancée crying, board members calling for emergency votes. The whole empire he'd built threatened to collapse because he'd walked away from his own engagement for a woman covered in blood. Worth it, he decided. Every bit of it. Okay. He pulled out his phone, started typing rapid-fire orders. Here's what we're going to do. Jong-soo will move you to a safe house, somewhere my uncle doesn't know about. You'll give me everything you have on him, and then no safe house. Gabriella crossed her arms. I'm staying with you. That's stupid. Maybe, but I'm not running anymore. Her chin lifted. Besides, you need me. I'm the only one who knows where all the evidence is hidden. If something happens to me, it stays buried. Smart. Manipulative. Exactly like her. He almost laughed. You're a pain. You've said that before. Still true. The door opened. Jong-soo stuck his head in, face grim. Boss, we've got a problem. Your uncle just called an emergency board meeting. He's moving to remove you as CEO. Shihun's expression didn't change. When? Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Then we work fast. He looked at Gabriella. Can you walk? I can run if I have to. Good. Because we're about to burn down everything my uncle's built. He turned to Jong-soo. Get me files on every board member. Find their weaknesses. I want to know who's loyal and who's bought. And get the legal team ready. We're going to need them. Jong-soo nodded and disappeared. Gabriella touched his arm. Shihun, your engagement, your family. If you do this, my family chose sides when my uncle tried to kill you. His voice went cold, and the engagement was never real. You said it yourself. But still, no buts. He faced her fully, close enough that she had to tilt her head back. 8 months ago, you left, because you thought it was safer. You were wrong. The only safe place is right here, next to me, where I can see you. Something shifted in her eyes. Surprise, maybe, or hope. Okay, she whispered. Okay. They stood there, he close but not touching, while chaos swirled outside. Shihoon's phone kept buzzing. Ignored it. Someone knocked on the door. Ignored that too. This moment mattered more than all of it. I'm sorry, Gabriella said suddenly. For leaving. For not trusting you to protect me. Don't. He shook his head. You did what you thought was right. But from now on, we do this together. No more running. No more secrets. No more secrets, she agreed. The door burst open. His mother stood there, fury radiating from every pore. Kim Shihoon, what is the meaning of this? He didn't let go of Gabriella's arm. Mother, meet Gabriella Mensah, the woman who's about to save our company from your brother-in-law's corruption. His mother's eyes went wide. His mother stepped into the room, and the temperature dropped 10 degrees. She wore her fury like armor, expensive silk, perfect hair, eyes that could cut glass. But Shihoon had learned years ago that his mother's anger meant fear underneath. Explain, she demanded. Now. Uncle Jin-soo has been stealing from the company for 7 years. Shihoon's voice stayed level. Gabriella found proof. He tried to kill her for it. That's the explanation. His mother's face went pale. She gripped the doorframe. That's... Jin-soo wouldn't. He would. Gabriella stepped forward despite the bruises, despite everything. Mrs. Kim, I have bank statements showing $12 million moved through fake suppliers. I have emails about weapons shipments, disguised as textiles. I have recorded conversations about bribing officials in 3 countries. Lies. But his mother's voice shook. I wish they were. Gabriella pulled out a flash drive from somewhere. Maybe her shoe. Shihoon couldn't tell. Everything's here. And tomorrow morning, your brother-in-law plans to remove your son from power and take control himself. The silence stretched. His mother looked between them, calculating. She'd built this empire alongside Shihoon's father. Fought for every inch of respect in a world that didn't want to give it. If Jin-soo succeeded, everything would crumble. Show me, she said finally. They moved to Shihoon's office. Jong-soo had already set up computers, files spread across the massive desk. Gabriella plugged in the drive and pulled up documents. His mother read in silence, face growing harder with each page. The Kinshasa deal, she breathed. That was Jin-soo? Yes. The missing shipment to Maputo. Him too. His mother sank into a chair. For the first time in Shihoon's life, she looked old. I trusted him. After your father died, I trusted him to help guide the company. He saw an opportunity. Gabriella said gently, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. His mother's spine straightened. Be ready to testify, because tomorrow morning, we're going to destroy him. Shihoon felt something loosen in his chest. His mother was terrifying when she chose a side. What do you need from us? Time. I'll call the board members tonight, the ones I trust. She stood, smoothed her dress. By morning, Jin-soo will walk into a trap. He has supporters, Jong-soo warned. At least 4 board members are on his payroll. Then we'll remove them too. His mother looked at Gabriella. I really looked at her. You saved my son's company. That makes you family, whether you want to be or not. Gabriella blinked. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. We have a war to win. His mother walked to the door, paused. And Shihoon, the engagement is off. I'll handle the fallout. You focus on staying alive. She left like a force of nature. Jong-soo whistled low. Your mom is scary. You have no idea, Shi-hoon muttered. He turned to Gabriella. You should rest. Tomorrow's going to be brutal. Can't rest. Too much adrenaline. She paced to the window, looked out at the city lights. Your uncle knows I'm here by now. He'll send more people. Let him try. Shi-hoon moved beside her. This building has security that could stop a small army, and I've got Jong-soo. Hey, I'm standing right here, Jong-soo protested. You're also my best fighter. Oh. Well then, carry on. Gabriella almost smiled. Then her expression crumbled. I'm sorry about your engagement. I know I said it was fake, but still. I ruined your party. You saved me from the most boring night of my life. He caught her hand, squeezed it. That woman. She spent 6 months planning centerpieces. Centerpieces. Do you know how many emails I got about flowers? How many? 247. Gabriella laughed. Actually laughed. The sound filled the office like light. That's so many emails. I know. And she wanted me to have opinions about ribbon colors. Ribbon colors, Gabriella. She doubled over, laughing harder. Jong-soo joined in. The tension that had been strangling them all night finally eased. When Gabriella straightened, wiping her eyes, Shi-hoon saw the woman he remembered, sharp and funny and fearless. The woman who'd walked into his office 3 years ago with a briefcase full of his financial crimes and offered to fix them instead of reporting him. The woman who'd made him want to be better than the empire he'd inherited. I missed you, he said quietly. Her smile faded into something softer. I missed you too. Every day. Then why? Because I loved you too much to watch you die for me. The words came out raw. Your uncle made it clear. Either I disappeared or he'd kill you. Make it look like an accident. I couldn't let that happen. Shi-hoon's world tilted. What? He came to my apartment in Busan, had photos of you at the office, at the gym, at that noodle shop you love. He said choosing me was choosing death. Tears tracked down her face. So I left. Figured if I was gone, you'd be safe. Rage flooded him, pure and absolute. He threatened you. It doesn't matter now. Gabriella wiped her face. I spent 8 months gathering evidence because I knew someday I'd come back. Knew I'd find a way to end this, so we could be free. Jong-soo cleared his throat. I'm just gonna step outside for a minute. Good idea, Shi-hoon said without looking away from Gabriella. The door clicked shut. They were alone. The city sprawled below them, millions of lights, millions of people living normal lives. They'd never had normal. Probably never would. Free sounds nice, Shi-hoon said finally. Yeah? Yeah. He reached up, cupped her face carefully, avoiding the bruises. But I need you to promise something. What? No more leaving. No more protecting me by running away. We face everything together, or not at all. She nodded, leaning into his touch. Together. Together. He echoed. They stayed like that, forehead to forehead, breathing the same air. Not intimate, not quite, but close enough that Shi-hoon felt the pieces of himself that had been broken for 8 months start to fit back together. His phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. You should check that, Gabriella murmured. Reluctantly, he pulled away and looked at the screen. Jong-soo's message made his blood run cold. What is it? Gabriella asked. Your apartment in Johannesburg. The fire wasn't random. He showed her the message. They found accelerant patterns, professional job, and witnesses saw a man matching my uncle's head of security, leaving the building an hour before it went up. Gabriella went still. So he definitely knows I'm alive. And definitely knows you're here. Shihoon's mind raced. We need to move the evidence somewhere safer. Multiple locations, if he gets his hands on it. Already done. Gabriella pulled out her phone, showed him an app. Cloud backup in 3 separate countries. Physical copies in 2 safe deposit boxes under fake names. And 1 set with a lawyer who has instructions to release everything if I don't check in weekly. Smart. I learned from the best. His phone rang. His mother. He answered on speaker. The board members are gathering, she said without preamble. I've secured 5 votes. We need 3 more to win. What about Park Industries? Shihoon asked. They hold a significant stake. Park Sung-hwan isn't complicated. He and Jin-soo go way back. But his daughter might be an angle. She's been making noise about wanting more say in the company direction. Gabriella straightened. Park Minji. I know her. We worked together on a charity project last year. Can you reach out? His mother asked. Already texting her. Gabriella's fingers flew across her phone. If I can get her to see the evidence before the meeting. Do it. His mother's voice carried steel. But be careful. Jin-soo has spies everywhere. They hung up. Gabriella's phone chimed almost immediately. She'll meet us, Gabriella said, but not here. She wants neutral ground. Where? Shihoon asked. The Lotus Garden Tea House. 20 minutes. That's in the open, too exposed. It's also crowded and public. Your uncle won't try anything with witnesses. Gabriella grabbed her jacket. Besides, Minji's bringing her own security. We'll be fine. Shihoon didn't like it, but couldn't argue the logic. Fine, but I'm coming with you. And so is Jong-soo. And probably 6 other guards. Deal. They assembled a team quickly. Bulletproof car, trained security, communication devices. Shihoon felt like they were preparing for battle instead of a tea meeting. But considering his uncle had already tried to kill Gabriella once tonight, overkill seemed appropriate. The Lotus Garden sat in the heart of the business district. Red lanterns, bamboo screens, the smell of jasmine and green tea. They arrived to find Park Minji, already seated at a corner table, her own security hovering nearby. Minji stood when she saw Gabriella. Oh my God, what happened to your face? Long story. Gabriella hugged her carefully. Thanks for coming. You sounded desperate. Minji glanced at Shihoon, eyes sharp. And you're Kim Shihoon. I've heard things. Good things, I hope, he said dryly. Mostly neutral things. She sat, gestured for them to join. So, what's this about my father's company being involved in something illegal? Gabriella slid a folder across the table. Your father isn't involved. But Kim Jin-soo is using Park Industries connections to move money. See the highlighted transactions. Those all run through your textile division. Minji read, face darkening. This is... Dad doesn't know about this. He can't know. That's what we're hoping, Shihoon said. Jin-soo has been hiding his operations behind legitimate business deals. And your father's company gives him cover. And if this comes out? Minji looked up. Park Industries gets destroyed. My family's reputation. We can prevent that, Gabriella said quickly. If your father votes against Jin-soo tomorrow. If he helps us remove the corruption before it spreads further. Minji's hands shook. You're asking me to go to my father and tell him his old friend has been using him. Yes. He'll be devastated. Yes, Gabriella repeated gently. But he'll also be on the right side. And when this all comes out, because it will come out, Park Industries will be seen as victims, not accomplices. The silence stretched. Minji looked between them, weighing options. Finally, she nodded. I'll talk to him tonight, but I can't promise anything. That's all we ask, Shihoon said. So they left the tea house with 1 potential vote secured. Maybe. The drive back was tense. Gabriella kept checking over her shoulder. Jong-soo monitored communications. Shihoon's hand stayed near his phone, ready for bad news. It came halfway back. "Boss," Jong-soo said urgently. "We've got a tail, black sedan, 3 cars back." Shi-hoon looked in the rearview mirror. Sure enough. "Lose them." The driver accelerated. Seoul traffic swallowed them. Bikes, cars, pedestrians. They wove through streets, took sharp turns. The sedan kept pace. "They're good," Jong-soo muttered. "So are we." Shi-hoon pulled out his phone, made a call. "I need a distraction at the Gangnam intersection. Now." 30 seconds later, a delivery truck accidentally blocked the intersection. Their pursuers screeched to a halt. By the time they got around it, Shi-hoon's car had disappeared into a private garage 3 blocks away. "That was too close," Gabriella said, breathing hard. "It's only going to get worse." Shi-hoon helped her out of the car. "My uncle knows we're moving against him. He'll escalate. Let him." Gabriella's jaw set. "We have evidence. We have allies. And we have each other." The safe house sat above a restaurant that Shi-hoon's family had owned for 40 years. Unassuming, quiet, the kind of place his uncle would never think to look. They climbed the back stairs, Jong-soo checking every corner, every shadow. Inside, the apartment was small but secure. Reinforced door, windows that didn't open, equipment for monitoring the streets below. Gabriella sank onto the couch, exhaustion finally catching up. "You need sleep," Shi-hoon said. "Can't. Brain won't shut off." She rubbed her temples. "Keep thinking about tomorrow. What if we don't get enough votes? What if your uncle has a backup plan? Then we adapt." He sat beside her, careful to leave space. "We've survived this long. We'll survive tomorrow too. You sound confident." "I'm faking it really well." She laughed. Tired but genuine. "At least you're honest." They sat in comfortable silence. Outside, Seoul moved through its night rhythms. Sirens, traffic. Life continuing like the world wasn't about to tilt on its axis. Shi-hoon envied those people sometimes. Normal jobs, normal problems. Normal love stories that didn't involve corporate espionage and death threats. "Do you ever wish things were different?" Gabriella asked softly. "Like, what if we'd met in a normal way? Coffee shop or something? I'd have spilled coffee on you and you'd have hated me." "Probably," she smiled. "Or maybe I'd have thought you were cute and given you my number anyway." "Cute? Cute?" He put a hand to his chest, mock offended. "I'm a powerful CEO. Feared across industries. And you pout when Jong-soo eats your snacks. Those are my snacks. I label them. With your name, like a 5-year-old. It's an effective system." She laughed harder, and Shi-hoon felt that warmth again. The feeling that despite everything, despite the danger and the chaos and the impossible odds, this was where he was supposed to be. Next to her, fighting together. His phone buzzed. His mother. "Park Sung-hwan is in," she said. "His daughter convinced him. That's 6 votes. We need 7 for a majority," Shi-hoon calculated. 3 more to be safe. "I'm working on it. You focus on keeping that girl alive." His mother's voice softened slightly. "She's good for you, you know. I can tell." "Mother, don't mother me. I have eyes. The way you look at her, that's how your father looked at me." A pause. "Don't lose her again, Shi-hoon." "I won't," he promised. They hung up. Gabriella was watching him with an unreadable expression. "What?" he asked. "Your mom likes me. She called you family. That's basically adoption in her mind. Is it weird that I'm more scared of disappointing her than facing your uncle?" "Completely normal, actually." He stood, offered his hand. "Come on, let's go through the evidence one more time. Make sure we didn't miss anything." They spread documents across the coffee table. Bank statements, emails. Photos of Jin Soo meeting with known criminals. The paper trail was extensive, damning, but they needed it airtight for tomorrow. Gabriella's finger stopped on a particular transaction. Wait, this one. I remember seeing something similar in a different file. She pulled up her laptop, typed rapidly. Here, same amount, same date, but different accounts. Shi-hoon leaned closer. He was moving money in circles, making it look like legitimate business when it was just washing the same stolen funds over and over. Exactly. And if we can show the pattern? Gabriella's eyes lit up. We can prove systematic fraud, not just isolated incidents. They worked through the night. Coffee appeared courtesy of Jong-soo. Hours blurred, but slowly the full picture emerged. Jin-soo hadn't just stolen money. He'd built an entire shadow operation within the company. Fake vendors, ghost employees, shell corporations in 6 countries. This is huge, Gabriella breathed. If this gets out, it'll destroy him, Shi-hoon finished, and everyone connected to him, including the board members in his pocket. Good. His voice went hard. They chose their side. Dawn broke over Seoul. Neither of them had slept. Gabriella looked exhausted, bruises darker in the morning light. But her eyes were sharp, focused, ready. 2 hours until the meeting, Shi-hoon said. We should get ready. Gabriella nodded but didn't move. Shi-hoon, if this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, she grabbed his hand. I need you to promise you'll get out. Take your mother and run. The evidence will still come out eventually, but you don't have to. Stop. He squeezed her hand. We both walk out of this, together. That's the only option. You're impossible. You've mentioned that before. Still true. They smiled at each other, tired, scared, but united. Whatever happened in the next few hours, they'd face it side by side. Jong-soo knocked on the door. Boss, we've got movement at the company. Your uncle arrived early with his security team. Looks like he's setting up. How many men? Shi-hoon asked. 12, all armed. Gabriella's eyes went wide. Armed? At a board meeting? He's not planning to lose quietly, Shi-hoon said grimly. He made a decision. Jong-soo, call the authorities and tell them we have evidence of corporate fraud and we're concerned about potential violence. They'll want to know specifics. Then tell them everything. If my uncle wants a war, we'll give him one. But we'll do it legally. He looked at Gabriella. Can you send the evidence to the prosecutor's office? Already drafting the email. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. But once I send this, there's no taking it back. Your family's company will be investigated. Everything will be exposed. Then we rebuild. Shi-hoon's voice was steady. Better, cleaner, the way my father would have wanted. You sure? Never been more sure of anything. She hit send. They dressed quickly. Gabriella borrowed clothes from an emergency stash. Professional but comfortable. Something she could run in if necessary. Shi-hoon wore his best suit, the armor for the battlefield. The drive to company headquarters took 15 minutes. Security waved them through. Other board members were arriving, some looking confused, others nervous. His mother stood in the lobby, a pillar of strength in navy blue. They're waiting in the boardroom, she said. Jin Soo has been telling everyone you've had a breakdown, that you're not fit to lead. Let him talk, Shi-hoon replied. We have facts. They walked to the boardroom together, Gabriella between Shi-hoon and his mother, Jong-soo and 4 other guards behind them. The doors opened. Jin Soo sat at the head of the table, smug, confident, surrounded by his bought board members. But when he saw Gabriella alive and walking, his expression cracked. This meeting is for board members only, he said coldly. Ms. Imensa is here as my financial consultant. Shi-hoon replied smoothly. And as a witness. Witness to what? Your crimes. Shi-hoon placed a folder on the table, slid it toward the center. 7 years of theft, money laundering, fraud, all documented. Jin-soo didn't even look at the folder. You have no proof. Actually, we have 12 million reasons. Gabriella stepped forward. Bank statements showing systematic theft, emails detailing illegal deals, and testimony from 3 of your former associates who are willing to testify in exchange for reduced sentences. The room went silent. Board members looked at each other, at Jin-soo, at the folder. This is ridiculous, Jin-soo said, but his voice wavered. She's lying, trying to protect Shi-hoon's incompetence. Then explain these transactions. Shi-hoon pulled out specific pages. $12 million moved through shell corporations, all traced back to you. Park Sung-hwan picked up the documents, read them. His face went pale. Jin-soo, these are real. They're fabricated. They're verified by 3 independent auditors, Gabriella interrupted, and the prosecutor's office is reviewing them as we speak. Jin-soo stood so fast his chair fell. You called the police? I called the authorities responsible for investigating corporate fraud, Shi-hoon corrected, which is what this is. You'll destroy this company. No, you destroyed it. We're just cleaning up your mess. Jin-soo's hand moved toward his jacket. Jong-soo moved faster, crossing the room in 2 steps. Don't. I'm just getting my phone. You're getting whatever weapon you thought you'd need for a hostile takeover. Jong-soo's voice was pleasant. But see, we already called the authorities, and they're downstairs, waiting. On cue, the doors opened. Detectives in suits, badges displayed. The lead detective looked at Jin-soo. Kim Jin-soo, we have a warrant for your arrest. Suspicion of fraud, money laundering, and attempted murder. Attempted murder? Jin-soo's face went red. I never. You sent men to kill me in Johannesburg, Gabriella said quietly. They burned my apartment. I have witnesses, evidence, and burns on my arm to prove it. She rolled up her sleeve. Fresh scars, pink and angry. Shi-hoon felt rage flood him again, but kept his face neutral. The detectives moved in. Jin-soo struggled, but it was over. They cuffed him. He read him his rights. His bought board members looked terrified, probably calculating their own legal exposure. Anyone else involved should contact their lawyers, the lead detective said. We'll be investigating thoroughly. 2 more board members stood immediately, left without a word. Rats fleeing a sinking ship. The remaining members looked at Shi-hoon. So, Park Sung-hwan said carefully, what happens now? Now we vote on emergency leadership, Shi-hoon's mother said crisply. Kim Jin-soo is removed from his position effective immediately. All in favor? Every hand went up. Passed unanimously. She looked at Shi-hoon. And I move that my son remains CEO with full authority to make necessary changes to protect this company. All in favor? Again, unanimous. Then it's settled. His mother closed her portfolio. Meeting adjourned. Legal team will be in touch with each of you regarding testimonies and cooperation. The board members filed out, some relieved, some scared, all processing what had just happened. When the room was empty, except for Shi-hoon, Gabriella, his mother, and Jong-soo, his mother finally let her shoulders sag. That was, she started. Terrifying, Gabriella finished. I was going to say effective, but yes, also terrifying. His mother looked at them. Well done, both of you. We're not finished, Shi-hoon warned. Jin-soo has allies outside the company, resources. He'll fight this. Let him. His mother's voice turned to ice. We have the law on our side now, and truth. That's more powerful than whatever he can throw at us. She left to handle the media. Already reporters were gathering outside. The scandal would be everywhere by noon. Gabriella sank into a chair. I can't believe that worked. You sound surprised, Shihoon said. I'm shocked. I was 90% sure we'd end up running for our lives. The day's not over yet. Don't jinx it. Jong-soo's phone buzzed. He read the message and grinned. Boss, the authorities found Jin-soo's offshore accounts, all of them. He's looking at 20 years minimum. Good. Shihoon felt the tension finally leave his body. Make sure they have everything they need to build an airtight case. Already on it. When Jong-soo left, Shihoon and Gabriella were alone in the boardroom. Sunlight streamed through the windows. The city spread out below them. Their city, their home, the place they'd fought for. So, Gabriella said softly, what now? Now? Shihoon moved to stand beside her at the window. Now we rebuild. We make this company something we can be proud of. We? You're not getting away from me again. He looked at her. I'm offering you a real position. Chief Financial Officer, full salary, full authority. Shihoon, you saved this company. You deserve to help shape its future. He hesitated. Unless you want to go back to Johannesburg. Johannesburg is rubble. She smiled. And also, I kind of like it here. Yeah. She stepped closer, not quite touching, but close enough. Besides, someone needs to make sure you don't make stupid decisions. I make excellent decisions. You labeled your snacks with your name. That was one time. It was last week. They laughed. Easy. Natural. The weight of 8 months apart, finally lifting. Outside, police cars surrounded the building. Media vans parked on every corner. The story was breaking across every news channel. But up here, in this moment, they were just two people who'd survived something impossible. Thank you, Shihoon said quietly. For what? For coming back. For trusting me. She put a finger to his lips. Stop. We did this together. That's what matters. He caught her hand, held it. Together. Together, she repeated. The press conference was chaos. Cameras everywhere, reporters shouting questions. Shihoon's mother stood at the podium like a queen, fielding inquiries with practiced grace. She explained the corruption, the investigation, the company's commitment to transparency moving forward. Shihoon stood to the side with Gabriella, hidden from the cameras but watching everything. Your mom is really good at this, Gabriella whispered. Years of practice, he replied. She's handled scandals before, just never this big. Think it'll hurt the company long term? Maybe, but we'll recover. He glanced at her. Companies that survive scandals often come back stronger, more trusted. It's weird, but true. Only if they handle it right, which we will. The conference ended. His mother fielded a few more questions privately, then joined them in the back hallway. That went better than expected, she said. The narrative is already shifting. We're victims of internal corruption, not complicit. Thanks to Gabriella, Shihoon said. His mother looked at Gabriella with something like respect. You did good work. The prosecutors are very impressed with your documentation. I had time to be thorough, Gabriella replied. 8 months of nothing but research. 8 months we could have avoided if my brother-in-law hadn't been such a snake. His mother's face hardened. But that's done now. Moving forward, we need to discuss your role in the company. Shihoon already offered me CFO, Gabriella said hesitantly. I was thinking bigger. His mother crossed her arms. How would you feel about Director of Financial Operations? You'd oversee not just the books, but all major financial decisions report directly to the board. Gabriella's eyes went wide. That's a huge position. You've earned it. And frankly, after today, the board trusts you more than anyone else. His mother smiled slightly. Plus, you keep my son in line. That's worth the entire salary right there. Hey, Shi-hoon protested. You need keeping in line, his mother said. Don't argue, Gabriella laughed. I'll think about it. That's a big commitment. Take your time, but not too much time. We need good people now, more than ever. His mother's phone rang. Excuse me, media again. She swept away, already answering questions. Shi-hoon and Gabriella were left in the quiet hallway. Director of Financial Operations, Gabriella said wonderingly. That's what you deserve, Shi-hoon finished. You saved us. You should be rewarded. It's not about rewards. She faced him. It's about whether I can actually do this. I mean, I've been running for 8 months, living in hiding. Can I just settle into a normal job? Define normal. He smiled. Because nothing about this situation is normal. But that's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. Together. Together. They stood close. So the building hummed around them. Employees returning to work, phones ringing, life continuing. Somewhere below, Jin-soo sat in a holding cell. Above, the board was already planning the company's future. And here, in this hallway, 2 people who'd survived the impossible took a moment to just breathe. I should probably find an apartment, Gabriella said. Can't stay in a safe house forever. Move in with me. She blinked. What? My place is huge. More space than I need. Plus security, plus. He hesitated. I don't want you out of my sight. Not yet. Not until we're sure Jin-soo's people are all caught. Shi-hoon. Separate rooms, he added quickly. Whatever you're comfortable with. Just stay close. She studied his face. Whatever she saw there made her nod. Okay. But I'm paying half the utilities. You can't pay half the utilities on a place you didn't choose. Watch me. You're stubborn. You've mentioned that before. They smiled at each other. Jung-soo appeared around the corner, tablet in hand. Boss, we've got more good news. Prosecutors found evidence of Jin-soo's offshore accounts in the Caymans. Frozen them all. He's got basically nothing left. How much was there? Shi-hoon asked. 40 million, give or take. Gabriella whistled. He stole 40 million. Over 7 years, yeah. Jung-soo shook his head. Guy got greedy. Greed always fails eventually, Shi-hoon said. What about his associates? The ones who helped him? 3 are cooperating. 2 are running. But we've got international warrants. They won't get far. Jung-soo looked at Gabriella. Oh. And the investigators want to interview you formally. Get your testimony on record. When? She asked. Tomorrow morning, if you're up for it. I'm up for it. Her voice was steady. Let's end this properly. The rest of the day blurred. Legal meetings, phone calls, emails flooding in from partners, clients, media. Shi-hoon handled what he could, delegated the rest. His mother was a force of nature, managing the board and the public simultaneously. By evening, they were all exhausted. Go home, his mother ordered. Both of you rest. Tomorrow will be just as crazy. Shi-hoon didn't argue. They took his car, bulletproof, tracked, safe, and drove to his apartment in the financial district. 42nd floor. View of the entire city. The kind of place that usually felt too big and too empty. But with Gabriella there, it felt different. This is nice, she said, looking around. Modern furniture, clean lines, floor-to-ceiling windows. Very you. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. She moved to the window. You can see everything from here. That's the point. He joined her. I like knowing what's happening in my city. Control issues? Healthy awareness. She laughed. They stood there watching Seoul light up as night fell. Neon signs, traffic, life pulsing through the streets. I forgot how beautiful it is, Gabriella said softly. Johannesburg was nice, but this is home. Is it? Shihoon asked. Home? Yeah, I think it is. She glanced at him. Is that weird? I've only been here 3 years. Home isn't about time. It's about where you feel safe. He paused. Do you feel safe here? With you? Always. The words hung between them, heavy with meaning. Your 8 months of separation, years of dancing around feelings, all of it coming to a head in this quiet moment. Gabriella. Shihoon started, but his phone rang. He almost ignored it, but the caller ID showed the prosecutor's office. I need to take this. Go ahead. He stepped away, answered. The conversation was brief but significant. When he hung up, Gabriella was watching him. What is it? She asked. They found Jinsu's partner, the insider who helped him. Shihoon's voice was tight. It was Park Minji's father. Gabriella's face went pale. No, that can't be right. He voted with us. He was covering his tracks. Once Jinsu got arrested, he panicked and tried to destroy evidence, but prosecutors caught him. Shihoon ran a hand through his hair. Minji's going to be devastated. I need to call her. Gabriella pulled out her phone. Wait. He caught her hand. Maybe give it a few hours. Let the authorities handle the initial contact. Then you can reach out. She nodded reluctantly. This is awful. She trusted her father. We all trusted him. Jinsu was good at corrupting people. Shihoon's jaw tightened. That's what made him dangerous. They sat in silence. The victory from earlier felt hollow now. Yes, they'd won. Yes, justice was happening. But the cost was high. Families destroyed, reputations ruined, people hurt. I hate this, Gabriella said quietly. Me too. I just wanted to do the right thing. Expose the corruption. But now Minji's father is arrested, and she's probably falling apart. And, hey, Shihoon turned her to face him. You did do the right thing. And Park Sung-hwan made his choices. He helped Jinsu steal from innocent people. That's on him, not you. But Minji will survive. She's strong. And she has friends who will help her through it. He squeezed her shoulders gently. Including you. When she's ready, you'll be there. That's what matters. Gabriella leaned into him. Not quite a hug, but close, seeking comfort. Shihoon wrapped his arms around her carefully, mindful of her bruises. They stayed like that, standing in his huge empty apartment, holding each other while the world shifted outside. I'm tired, Gabriella finally whispered. Then sleep. Guest room is down the hall. Second door. Everything you need should be there. Okay. But she didn't move. Shihoon? Yeah? Thank you. For everything. For believing me. For going to war for me. Stop. He pulled back enough to see her face. I'd do it all again. Every bit of it. You know that, right? She nodded. Yeah, I know. Good. She finally stepped away, heading toward the guest room. At the door, she paused. Good night, Shihoon. Good night, Gabriella. He watched her disappear into the room, heard the door close softly. Then he stood alone in his apartment, feeling the weight of the day settle on his shoulders. They'd won. But it didn't feel like victory yet. Maybe tomorrow, he thought. Maybe tomorrow it would feel real. He poured himself a drink, sat by the window, watched the city that he'd fought so hard to protect. Somewhere out there, Jinsu sat in a cell. Park Sung-hwan was probably being arrested. Their empire was crumbling. And here, on the 42nd floor. Shi-Hoon allowed himself to feel what he'd been suppressing all day. Relief, exhaustion, fear, hope, love. Because that's what it was, wasn't it? This thing he felt for Gabriella. Not just attraction or respect or partnership, but actual, terrifying, all-consuming love. He'd known for years, probably. Since she first walked into his office with her briefcase and her fearless eyes and her complete lack of intimidation. She'd seen him, really seen him, past the CEO title and the family name and the carefully constructed walls. And she'd stayed anyway, until Jin-Soo forced her to leave. But she came back. She came back. Even injured and terrified and hunted, she'd come back to him. To finish what they started. To stand beside him. Shi-Hoon drained his drink and made a decision. Tomorrow, when the dust settled a bit more, he'd tell her. And no more dancing around it. No more pretending they were just colleagues or friends or partners. He'd tell her the truth. That he loved her. That he'd loved her for years. That he wanted. His phone buzzed. Text from Jong-soo. Boss, problem. Jin-Soo made bail. He's out. Shi-Hoon stared at the message. Read it 3 times. Then he was moving, crossing the apartment in long strides. He knocked on Gabriella's door. Gabriella, wake up. We need to go. The door opened immediately. She was still dressed, eyes alert. What happened? Jin-Soo's out on bail. Shi-Hoon was already pulling out his phone, calling Jong-soo. Which means he's coming for us. For you, specifically. Her face went pale, but her voice stayed steady. Where do we go? Somewhere he can't find us. Somewhere. Glass shattered in the living room. Both of them froze, and then moved simultaneously. Shi-Hoon pushing Gabriella behind him, both of them backing toward the bedroom. A voice echoed through the apartment. Cold, familiar. Jin-Soo. I know you're here, nephew, and I know you have the girl. So let's talk about this like adults, shall we? Shi-Hoon's mind raced. Jin-Soo was in his apartment. Security should have stopped him. Unless... He bought off building security, Gabriella whispered. Yeah. Shi-Hoon pulled her into his bedroom, locked the door. It wouldn't hold long, but it bought time. He hit speed dial. Jong-soo answered immediately. Boss, Jin-Soo's here, in my apartment. How fast can you get here? 5 minutes, I'm calling police now. Don't engage him, just hide. Copy. He hung up and turned to Gabriella. Panic room. Hide behind the closet. You have a panic room? My mother insisted. He pushed aside suits, revealed a hidden door. Fingerprint scanner. Heavy lock. Get in. Don't come out until Jong-soo gives the all clear. What about you? Gabriella grabbed his arm. I'll keep him talking. Buy time. No. We stay together. That was the plan. Together. Gabriella. The bedroom door shook. Someone testing the lock. Jin-Soo's voice came through, muffled but clear. You can't hide forever, Shi-Hoon. Let's be reasonable. He's not going to hurt me, Shi-Hoon said quickly. I'm family. He needs me alive to access company assets. But you, he'll kill without thinking. So please get in the panic room. Tears filled her eyes, but she nodded. 5 minutes. If you're not out by then, I'm calling everyone I know. Deal. She slipped into the panic room. He sealed it behind her, made sure the lock engaged. Then he turned to face whatever came next. The bedroom door splintered. Jin-Soo stepped through with 2 men, thugs by the look of them, armed but not police-quality weapons. Street level. Uncle, Shi-Hoon said evenly. Breaking and entering. That'll violate your bail. I don't care about bail. Jin-Soo's face was red, desperate. You destroyed me. My reputation, my money, everything I built. Everything you stole, Shi-Hoon corrected. Let's be accurate. Where's the girl? What girl? Jin-soo crossed the room fast, grabbed Shi-hoon's collar. Don't play games. Gabriella Mensah, the one who's been feeding the prosecutors lies about me. Not lies. Evidence. Where is she? Jin-soo shook him. Gone. He left the country hours ago. You're too late. Jin-soo studied his face, then smiled. Cold. You're lying. You're not good at it. Never were. You're wrong. Then you won't mind if my associates search the apartment. Jin-soo gestured. The thugs moved toward the closet. Shi-hoon stepped between them. You're not searching anything. Police are on the way. You should leave while you can. Police. Jin-soo laughed. You think I'm afraid of police? I've been paying them for years. Not these ones. Prosecutor's office incorruptible. Shi-hoon kept his voice calm. You're only making this worse, uncle. Leave now. Maybe your lawyer can argue temporary insanity. I don't need a lawyer. I need leverage. Jin-soo pulled out a gun. Small, easily concealed, but deadly at this range. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to give me access to your offshore accounts, all of them, and in exchange, I won't shoot you. Shi-hoon went very still. You'd kill your own nephew? Family means nothing compared to survival. The gun didn't waver. Accounts. Now. I can't access them from here. They require liar. Jin-soo cocked the gun. You're the CEO. You have access to everything. Think, Shi-hoon ordered himself. Stall. Jong-soo said 5 minutes. How long had it been? 2 minutes? 3. Fine, he said. But I need my laptop. It's in the living room. Jin-soo gestured with the gun. Move, slowly. They walked to the living room. Broken glass everywhere from the shattered window. Cold air rushing in. The city spread out below, lights twinkling, unaware of the drama unfolding 42 floors up. Shi-hoon grabbed his laptop, opened it. His hands were steady. That surprised him. He'd expected fear. Instead, he felt calculated calm. Maybe because he knew Gabriella was safe, hidden, protected. Accessing now, he said, typing. But instead of his accounts, he opened a program Jong-soo had installed months ago. Security override. One button press, and it would alert every authority within 10 blocks. He pressed it, while pretending to log in. Hurry up, Jin-soo snapped. These accounts have multiple security layers. It takes time. You have 30 seconds. 20 seconds later, sirens wailed outside. Jin-soo's head snapped toward the window. What did you do? Called the police, Shi-hoon said simply. Told you they were coming. Jin-soo's face twisted with rage. He raised the gun. Then you're useless to me. Time slowed. Shi-hoon saw the trigger squeeze. He saw Jin-soo's finger tighten, saw his own death coming. Then the panic room door burst open and Gabriella screamed, "No!" She threw something, looked like a lamp base, heavy metal. It hit Jin-soo's arm. The gun fired, but the bullet went wide, shattering what was left of the window. Everything happened at once. The thugs lunged for Gabriella. Shi-hoon tackled Jin-soo. The gun skittered across the floor. Glass crunched. Sirens grew louder. Gabriella dodged one thug, kicked the second one in the knee. He went down hard. She grabbed the gun. "Everyone stop!" she shouted. They all froze. Gabriella held the gun steady, pointed at Jin-soo. Her hands didn't shake. Her eyes were clear. "Get away from him!" Jin-soo laughed. "You won't shoot. You're not a killer." "No, but I'm really angry." Her finger rested on the trigger. And you tried to kill him. So maybe test me." Jin-soo must have seen something in her face because he stepped back, raised his hands. The apartment door burst open. Police flooded in, Jong-soo behind them. He took in the scene, Gabriella with the gun, Shi-hoon on the floor, Jin-soo surrounded by broken glass, and started barking orders. Secure the suspects, get medical, check for injuries. Police moved in, disarmed Gabriella gently. She let them take the gun without resistance. Her eyes found Shi-hoon. He climbed to his feet, crossed to her in 3 steps. "You were supposed to stay in the panic room," he said. "Yeah, well, I heard gunshots. Plans changed." She was shaking now. Adrenaline crash. "Are you okay?" Did he? "I'm fine. Completely fine." He pulled her close, not caring that police were watching. "You threw a lamp at an armed man." "It was heavy. Good leverage. You could have been killed. So could you." She pulled back, eyes fierce. "I told you. Together. We face things together." He couldn't argue with that. Didn't want to. She'd saved his life. Again. Just like he'd tried to save hers. They were, even now, partners in every sense. Police led Jin-soo away in handcuffs. This time, there'd be no bail. Attempted murder of a CEO. Breaking and entering. Assault. His lawyer would need miracles. The thugs went quietly, probably hoping for plea deals. Smart. Jong-soo approached, tablet in hand. Prosecutors are very happy. With this new charge, Jin-soo's looking at 40 years minimum. "Good," Shi-hoon said. Then, "Thank you for getting here so fast. I broke like 6 traffic laws, but you're welcome." Jong-soo glanced at Gabriella. "Nice throw, by the way, former athlete." "Track and field in university," she admitted. "Shot put," explains the arm. They gave statements to police, answered questions, let paramedics check them over. Shi-hoon had bruises from tackling Jin-soo. Gabriella's earlier injuries had reopened slightly, but they were alive, together, safe. By the time everyone left, dawn was breaking again. 2 nights without sleep. Shi-hoon felt it in his bones. "We should find a hotel," Gabriella said, looking at the shattered window. "This place isn't secure anymore." "My mother's house," Shi-hoon countered. "Security like a fortress. Plus, she'll want to know we're okay." They gathered essentials and left. The car ride was quiet, exhaustion settling over them like a blanket. But Shi-hoon's mind wouldn't stop. He kept replaying the moment Jin-soo pulled the trigger. The moment he'd thought he might die. The moment Gabriella saved him. His mother's house sat in the hills outside Seoul. Traditional architecture mixed with modern security. She met them at the door, took one look at their faces, and pulled them both into a hug. "I heard," she said. "Jong-soo called. You're staying here until your apartment is fixed. No arguments." "Wasn't planning to argue," Shi-hoon replied. She showed Gabriella to a guest room, made sure they had everything they needed. Then she cornered Shi-hoon in the hallway. "That girl loves you," she said bluntly. "Mother." "Don't mother me. I have eyes. She threw herself in front of a gun for you. That's not just partnership. That's love." "I know," he said quietly. "So what are you going to do about it?" "I don't know." He'd tell her maybe? Maybe. His mother looked appalled. "Shi-hoon, you just survived attempted murder. Life is short. Tell her today, now, before something else explodes." "Nothing else is going to explode. In this family, I wouldn't bet on it." She patted his cheek. "Now go. Rest. Talk to her when you wake up. And for heaven's sake, be honest for once." He nodded, too tired to argue. His mother swept away, already on her phone handling damage control. The woman never stopped. Shi-hoon found his old bedroom, collapsed on the bed. Sleep should have come immediately. Instead, he stared at the ceiling, mind racing. Gabriella loved him. His mother said so, and his mother was rarely wrong about these things. But did Gabriella know she loved him? Or was it just loyalty, friendship, partnership taken to extremes? He needed to know, needed to hear it from her. But first, sleep. Just a few hours. Then he'd talk to her. Tell her everything. Hope she felt the same way. He closed his eyes, woke up 6 hours later to sunlight streaming through windows and the smell of food. His stomach growled. When had he last eaten? Yesterday morning? The day before? He found his way to the kitchen. His mother was cooking. Gabriella sat at the counter, showered and changed, looking more rested. She smiled when she saw him. "Hey, your mom makes amazing pancakes." "Family recipe," his mother said. "Eat. Both of you look half dead." They ate in comfortable silence. The food helped, grounded him, made everything feel less surreal. "Prosecutors called," his mother said eventually. "Jin Soo officially charged with everything. His trial starts in 3 months, when they want you both to testify." "We will," Gabriella said immediately. "Good. Also, the board met this morning. Emergency session. They want to formally recognize your contributions, Gabriella. You're being offered the director position officially, plus a seat on the board itself." Gabriella's eyes went wide. "A board seat. You've earned it, multiple times over." His mother sipped her tea. "Think about it. No rush, but they'd like an answer by next week." After breakfast, his mother excused herself to handle more calls. Shihun and Gabriella moved to the garden. Traditional plants, stone paths, peaceful, the opposite of the chaos they'd been living in. "Board seat," Gabriella said wonderingly. "That's huge," Shihun finished. "But you can handle it." "Can I, though? I'm still processing everything that happened." She sat on a bench. 2 days ago, I was hiding in Johannesburg. Now I'm being offered a board position at one of Seoul's biggest companies. It's surreal. He sat beside her. "You don't have to decide now." "I know, but..." She looked at him. "What do you want me to do?" "I want you to stay," he said honestly. "But that's selfish. You should do whatever makes you happy." "What if staying makes me happy?" His heart stuttered. "Does it?" "Yeah." She smiled. "I think it does. Being here, working with you, building something good. It feels right. Even after everything. The danger, the chaos, especially after all that." She turned fully toward him. "Shihun, I spent 8 months running, 8 months alone. It was safe, but it was miserable, because you weren't there. And I realized, I don't want safe if it means being without you." There it was. The confession he'd been waiting for. But now that it was here, he didn't know what to say. "I love you," Gabriella said softly. "I have for years. I should have said it before I left, but I was scared. Thought if I admitted it, leaving would be impossible. But leaving was impossible anyway. Because I love you, Shihun, and I'm tired of pretending I don't." He couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel the overwhelming rightness of her words. "Say something," she whispered. "Please." "I love you too," he managed. "So much it scares me. I have probably since the day you walked into my office and called me out on every shady deal I'd ever made." She laughed, watery. "That was a good day. The best day." He reached for her hand. "And every day since has been better because you were in it. Even the bad days. Even the days when I thought you were gone forever. Because at least I'd known you. At least I'd had that." Tears tracked down her face. Happy tears this time. "We're really bad at timing, you know that?" The worst. Confessing love in your mother's garden after almost dying. "Hey, at least we're consistent." They laughed. Then they were moving closer, closing the distance that had always existed between them. Not quite touching, but close enough to feel the warmth, the connection, the love. "I want to kiss you," Shihun whispered in a flirtatious tone. "But I also want to do this right. Date you properly. take you to dinner, be the kind of partner you deserve. We can do both, Gabriella replied. Later, when everything settles. For now, just stay close. That's enough. Yeah? Yeah. So they sat in the garden, hands clasped, foreheads touching. Not intimate, just present, together. The way they'd always been meant to be. His mother appeared at the door, saw them, smiled, disappeared without saying a word. She'd always known, Shi-hoon realized, probably before they did. What happens now? Gabriella asked softly. Now we rebuild. The company, our lives, everything. He pulled back enough to see her face. And we do it together, as partners, as more than partners, she finished. Yeah, as more. They sat there until sunset, planning their future. The company changes they'd make, the transparency they'd implement, the good they could do with all that power and money. It felt right, purposeful, like everything they'd survived had led to this moment. When stars started appearing, they went inside. His mother had prepared rooms, separate but close, respecting boundaries while understanding their need to be near each other. Shi-hoon walked Gabriella to her door. Thank you, he said, for coming back, for fighting with me, for everything. Thank you for not giving up on me, she replied, even when I'd given up on myself. They stood in the hallway. The house was quiet, safe, the first truly safe place they'd had in weeks. Good night, Gabriella. Good night, Shi-hoon. He watched her door close. Then he went to his own room, lay in bed, stared at the ceiling again. But this time, instead of fear or worry or rage, he felt something else. Hope. Pure, uncomplicated hope for the future. They'd survived the war. Now they got to live the peace. And that, he thought as sleep finally claimed him, was worth everything they'd endured. 3 months passed in a blur of reconstruction. Jin-soo's trial dominated headlines. Gabriella testified with calm precision, walking the jury through every piece of evidence. Shi-hoon backed her up, explaining how his uncle had manipulated company resources. The verdict came back unanimous, guilty on all counts. 45 years in prison. The company restructured. Shi-hoon's mother retired from active management, but kept her board seat and her influence. Gabriella officially accepted the director position and proved immediately that she'd been the right choice. Profits stabilized, investor confidence returned. The scandal became a story of resilience instead of corruption. But the best changes happened quietly. Shi-hoon had dinner with Gabriella 3 times a week. Real dates, not business meetings disguised as meals. They talked about everything except work. Books, movies, childhood memories, dreams for the future. Slowly, carefully, they built something real. Something that didn't depend on danger or adrenaline, but on genuine connection. You're different, Jong-soo observed one afternoon. Happier. Good different? Shi-hoon asked. The best different. You smile now. Actually smile. It's weird but nice. They were in Shi-hoon's new apartment. Same building, different floor, better security. The repairs on his old place were done, but he'd decided to start fresh. This apartment had more light, more space, room for 2 people instead of 1. Not that Gabriella had moved in. They were taking things slow, proper, dating like normal people even though their situation had never been normal. His phone rang. Gabriella. Hey, he answered. What's up? Can you come to the office? Something you need to see. Her voice carried excitement. Shi-hoon grabbed his jacket. On my way. The drive took 15 minutes. He found Gabriella in her office, spacious, modern, with a view almost as good as his. She was grinning. What happened? He asked. This. She turned her computer screen. Remember the Mozambique contract? The one Jinsu sabotaged? Yeah, cost us millions. Well, I reached out to their government, explained what happened, offered transparency and new terms, and she pulled up an email. They just signed. Full partnership. $50 million over 5 years. Shihoon read the contract, read it again. Oh, this is huge. I know, she laughed. This saves our expansion plans. Plus it shows other countries we're trustworthy. More contracts will follow. He pulled her into a hug, lifted her off her feet. You're amazing. You know that. I've been told. She was still laughing when he set her down. But seriously, this is our win. Your transparency policies made this possible. We're a good team. The best team. They stood close. Office door open. Professional. But the looks they exchanged held promises of later. Of the dinner they'd planned. Of the conversation he'd been building up to for weeks now. Dinner tonight? He asked, even though they'd already planned it. Always. He left her to celebrate with her team, drove back to his apartment, paced for an hour. Ian checked his pocket 17 times to make sure the small box was still there. Because tonight was the night. 3 months of dating, of rebuilding, of proving that what they had wasn't just trauma bonding or partnership. It was real. It was love. And he wanted to make it permanent. The restaurant was quiet, upscale but not showy, private booth, view of the river. Gabriella arrived wearing blue, his favorite color on her. Her hair was different, styled. She'd made an effort, so had he. You look beautiful, he said. You look nervous. She smiled. What's going on? Can't a guy take his girlfriend to a nice dinner? You can, but you've been checking your pocket every 5 seconds. Either you've got a phone problem or something's up. Perceptive as always. They ordered. Ate. Talked about the Mozambique contract and future projects. He about his mother's new hobby, painting of all things. About Gabriella's plan to start a financial literacy program for underprivileged students. Easy conversation. Comfortable. The kind that came from truly knowing someone. When dessert arrived, Shihoon made his move. So, he said carefully, I've been thinking. Dangerous activity. Hilarious. He took a breath. 3 months ago, you came back into my life covered in blood and threatening to destroy my uncle. Best night of my life. She laughed. That was the best night? Let me finish. He reached across the table, took her hand. You saved me. Not just from Jinsu, from myself. From a life that looked successful, but felt empty. You made me want to be better, to build better. And these past 3 months have been amazing, she supplied softly. Yeah, amazing. And I don't want them to end. I want years of this, decades. I want to fight with you about finance reports and argue about restaurant choices and watch you throw lamps at anyone who threatens us. Shihoon, wait. I'm getting to the point. He pulled out the box, opened it. A simple ring. Gold band with a single stone. Not ostentatious, just beautiful. Gabriella Mensa, will you marry me? She stared at the ring, at him, back at the ring. Tears filled her eyes. She blinked rapidly. That's a really pretty ring. So is that a yes? Yes. Obviously yes. Did you think I'd say no? I hoped you'd say yes, but I've been terrified for 3 weeks, so... She kissed him. It was quick and sweet. Their first real kiss. 3 months of dancing around it, of taking things slow, of respecting boundaries. All of it culminating in this perfect moment. Gabriella was crying and laughing simultaneously. You're sure? She asked. Because this is huge, forever huge. I'm sure. He slipped the ring on her finger. Perfect fit. He'd guessed her size based on a bracelet she wore. I've never been more sure of anything. Okay then. She admired the ring. We're engaged. We're engaged. That's so weird to say. Good weird? The best weird. They finished dessert in a haze of happiness. Other diners probably noticed Gabriella kept staring at her hand. Probably thought they were ridiculous. Shi-hoon didn't care. Let them think whatever they wanted. He was engaged to the woman he loved. Nothing else mattered. They drove back to his apartment, sat on the balcony. Seoul spread out below them. Their city, their home. When should we tell people? Gabriella asked. Tomorrow. Tonight is just for us. Your mom is going to flip. She's been dropping hints for 2 months. This won't surprise her. Gabriella laughed. True. She asked me about wedding venues last week. I thought she was joking. My mother never jokes about weddings. They sat in comfortable silence. 3 months ago, they'd been fighting for their lives. Tonight, they were planning their future. The contrast was almost funny. I'm going to love you forever, Gabriella said suddenly. Just so you know, there's no backing out now. Forever sounds perfect, Shi-hoon replied. And I'm going to love you right back, through everything. The good, the bad, the corporate scandals. Hopefully no more corporate scandals. With our luck, I wouldn't bet on it. They laughed, and then they were kissing again. Slow and sweet. Not urgent. Just happy. Two people who'd found each other against impossible odds and decided to build something beautiful from the wreckage. When they finally pulled apart, stars were appearing overhead. Rare for Seoul's light pollution, but tonight everything felt magical, like the universe was celebrating with them. Thank you, Gabriella whispered, for not giving up, for fighting for us, for this. Thank you for coming back, he replied, for trusting me, for being brave enough to love someone like me. Someone like you. You're literally the best person I know. I'm a reformed criminal with trust issues and a tendency to label my snacks. Okay, but besides that. They dissolved into laughter again. Easy, natural, the kind of joy that came from being completely yourself with someone who loved every part of you. His phone buzzed. His mother. Just 3 words. I knew it. How does she always know? Shi-hoon asked. She has a 6th sense. It's terrifying. Gabriella checked her own phone. Oh no, Jong-soo's texting. He says, and I quote, Boss, please tell me you finally proposed. I've been keeping this secret for 3 weeks. Shi-hoon laughed. Guess we're telling people tonight after all. They called his mother first. She screamed. Actually screamed. Then demanded to know wedding details they hadn't even discussed. Gabriella handled her with grace while Shi-hoon sent a group text to his inner circle. The responses came fast. Jong-soo sent 17 celebration emojis. Board members sent congratulations. Even Park Min-ji, who'd survived her father's arrest and was rebuilding her own life, sent a heartfelt message of happiness. By midnight, half of Seoul's business community knew. By morning, it would be news. But for now, in this moment, it was just them. 2 people who'd fought wars and survived scandals and come out stronger. I can't wait to marry you, Gabriella said, leaning against him. I can't wait to spend forever with you, he replied. They stayed on the balcony until dawn, planning, dreaming, building a future that looked nothing like their past, but everything like their hopes. A future built on love and trust and partnership. A future where they faced everything together, always together, just like they'd promised. When the sun rose over Seoul, painting the sky in oranges and pinks, Shi-hoon looked at the woman beside him and knew with absolute certainty that this This was what all the fighting had been for. Not the company, not revenge, not justice, but this moment, this love, this life they'd build together. And it was going to be extraordinary. Honestly, appreciate you staying all the way to the end of this roller coaster. If you loved their story, even half as much as I loved writing it, maybe hit that subscribe button so we can do this again sometime.